Here at Northwestern State head coach Rick Cabrera, the Demons getting ready for Southland Conference play. Coach, we talk about how quickly a year goes. Can you believe conference play is here yet?
No, not at all, man. It's go time, man. It's go time, and it's 2024, and January and February is what determines if we go dancing, and this is what we prepare for every day.
When it does come to conference play, does it feel like, especially after a tough non-conference season, you kind of get to hit the reset button a bit?
Yeah, you have to mentally do that as coaches and for your players. You kind of transition it into seasons. So this is kind of the third season. Like you have the preseason and then you have the first semester part of it, and this is the second part. The focus and the attention to detail has to be even on 10 times 10, if that makes sense, especially in league play.
Has that pretty much been the main thing you've talked about the last couple of days?
Yes, absolutely. Like our guys, one thing I've always said is that our guys play hard. They have spurts where they don't, where fatigue sets in, but they play hard. But the most important is the listening and the attention to detail, and they're getting there. They're getting better every day and staying locked in, and I like where we are right now.
I know the record's not what you want it to be, but you drew a pretty tough non-conference schedule too. Do you find some, not moral victories, but do you find teachable moments within that that you think can help this team now that conference play's arrived?
Yeah, most definitely. We, I've always said this to the players. I've seen you guys at your best. We just haven't had it for 40 minutes. 30 minutes doesn't win games. You got to have it for 40. Now, will you have some lapses in there, but they have to be, if anything, 2 to 3 minutes, not 8 minutes. And that's the process of learning, with a new team. And I tell these guys every day, now that we go into conference, we can't use the excuse that you're new anymore. You guys have some games under your belt. Hopefully we learn from it, and we focus on Saturday afternoon.
Well, you mentioned it starts Saturday down at Lamar. That's a team that's kind of built, and I know in this era of roster turnover, they've lost some guys, but Coach Brooks in his third year, they took a step forward last year. They seem to be kind of taking another step forward this year.
Yeah, I've watched every team in the league so far play, and they're in my top three of being extremely impressive. They defend. They have great size at each position. They play unselfish basketball. Coach Brooks has done a great job in building his team throughout the years, and it looks like he has them where he likes them.
You mentioned the size, and that's nothing new for you guys to see a team that's pretty big. I see the grin there. That kind of makes it even more important for your guards. And the good thing is, as you enter Southland play, you mentioned not a lot of guys back. We've talked about it probably ad nauseum on here. But one guy's back that has some Southland Conference minutes is Braylon Bush. And it's going to be an interesting weekend for him. He goes kind of close to home in Beaumont. He's from Silsbee, which is not far away. And then he faces a McNeese team where he started his career. So always good to have someone to kind of lean on when it comes to getting in the league and finding some stuff out, even if the faces have changed.
Yeah, that's part of the reason why we recruited Bray. One, because I think he may have averaged between 6-7 points as a freshman at McNeese, and two, because he's a talented young man. Obviously he's small point guard, but he has a lot of offensive gifts that we looked at in recruiting that. As a staff, we thought he could help us when it comes to league play, and I feel that way. He knows the league, he understands the league, and like him going back to McNeese, he's excited. And most importantly, him going back to Lamar, he's excited as well, because he's from that area. But he brings a great amount of experience, and we're excited to have him get ready for Southland play.
Also pretty level-headed. And so that's not only what you want for your point guard, but when you're trying to balance those emotions of going home or playing a former team, that's got to be something that kind of works in his favor.
Yeah. No, and for him, like he doesn't get emotional. He's hard on himself, but like he leads the team well. He's gotten so much better at holding other guys accountable and learning to communicate to guys and going back home is important to him. He's a family-oriented young man. I think he may have like 30 family members coming to this game. So he's excited. He knows not to put any pressure on himself. It's just a basketball game. It's an important basketball game, but just play the game you love and have fun and let the process take care of itself.
There'll be another important one Monday evening here and pray through your first home Southland Conference game. And you mentioned Lamar being in the top 3 of being impressive. Well, what McNeese has done in the non-conference has clearly set them probably as the favorite going into the race. And they'll come here Monday night, and it should be an intriguing matchup with the Cowboys.
Yeah, I mean, McNeese is a very talented team. They could win, a lot of conferences that are higher level than the Southland. But one thing about conference basketball, it's just a different animal. Anybody can get anybody on any given day, and that's the way we approach it. I think we have good players out there. I'm a firm believer in that. We just have to continue to stay together and handle adversity, and anything could happen, especially at home. When you're sleeping in your own bed. That's the reason why home wins are teams throughout the country every year. The home team wins the most games, percentage of games. So we're going to come in here Monday and play a good team and beat them.
You touched on it, and I want to ask you. I mean, we've seen it throughout the time we've all been fans. What does make conference basketball and conference games, regardless of any sport? What is it? The familiarity? What changes when it gets to conference?
It's the importance of the game. It's the hey, I know that team. I've watched that team during the non-conference. It's what's at stake. Like the scouts are even a little bit more tedious and even in the ACC, like you don't have to win the league to go to the tournament there, but a last place team could be the first place team on it. It's happened every year, so it's just the attention to detail, the focus, the prime time of the game. So that's what makes it so important, and guys being locked in.
Coach, as always, appreciate your time.
No problem. Thank you.